Welcome back to another video. Today we're in the Open Grid League trying a new team. We have the Trevenant lead with Regirock, and then we have the Ultra Giratina. So here we have a positive matchup. They switch into their Giratina. As you can see, we don't really have a hard counter to Giratina in the back, so we end up just staying in with our Trevenant. We're trying to either break down the shields here or win this switch in because we do have the Giratina for their first Pokemon, I believe was Cobalion. So that is the goal. Here we're going to invest one shield to basically guarantee the second shield or winning back the other. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to save that energy and come in with the Giratina because the Giratina is able to tank all these moves. We do have a move banked for the Cobalion in the front upper later on. So I guess that was the strategy. And let's see if it pays off. Here, the Giratina throws the Dragon Claw and dips. And we actually see the Cobalion coming back in. So it looks like they themselves do not have a counter to the opposing or our alternative Giratina. So we'll have to keep that in mind. What are they so afraid of that they have to come back in with a Cobalion? So here we're just going to let this go. We know that they wanted to get rid of that so bad. So we decide to come in here with the Trevenant and then we throw a Shadow Ball. This Shadow Ball is now going to guarantee a shield or it's going to KO this Cobalion. Looks like they're going to throw a move to try to either get our last shield or make us use some more energy. Here, we just decided to go for the Seed Bomb. It's resisted, but we believe this Seed Bomb plus the additional Shadow Claws will be enough. And looks like they decided to switch out because they were afraid of getting Shadow Claw down. And unfortunately for them, they switch out into their Pidgeot, which we have a Regirock ready. You don't really see a ton of Regirocks, but as of right now, it has a pretty good standing amongst some of the stuff that you see, like Charizard and all the flyers. And, you know, it has a decent chance against some of the stuff that's weak to fighting because of the Focus Blast, potentially. So if you were trying to maximize energy, we throw another way undercharged Stone Edge because essentially we want energy heading into whether they're going to come in with a Cobalion. Okay. So we try to catch a move right there. Unfortunately, we did not catch a move. Here, they're just going to throw the Sacred Sword. Looks like we barely survive it. Here, we're going to throw the Stone Edge. And then we're going to try to race them to the next Stone Edge for the KO. So just a little extra farm against the Cobalion allowed us to get to the Stone Edge and take out this Giratina. GG's to our opponent, and let's see if we can continue this synergy with this team here. I believe that the Regirock, you know, it's a high risk reward. Obviously, we don't want to see any Swampers, but that's why we have the Trevenant. Okay, so we have a okay matchup here. This is a 100% XL Stunfisk, so we need to make sure we take out this tank. It's actually really tanky, but good thing the Trevenant is able to tank several of these rock slides, so we don't have to initially waste any shields. The idea here is just to get as many charge boosts as possible, and we're gonna act like we're gonna get to the Shadow Ball, but we're really just throwing Seed Bombs here. We know that we can survive not the next rock slide, but we can survive at least one rock slide. So we shield here, and we're going to decide to farm down, I believe. So there we go. We go one shield farm down, and now we have a good amount of energy that we can throw back at this Walrein. The Walrein shields, and we're trying to get to another Seed Bomb. Unfortunately, we do not. So even with a little bit of farm down against the Galar Stunfisk, we were not able to get to another Seed Bomb. Here, we had to make a call whether they were going to throw the Earthquake or not. Looks like they did commit to the Earthquake, and now we have no shields, but at least we can take out that Walrein when it comes back. But now the main job here is to try to get this Jellicent low enough so that our Regirock can take it out or even farm down. So we went for the Shadow Sneak right there to do as much damage. They go for the Surf because they realize that we already add a move, and they're just trying to do chip damage at this point. Okay, and we were not able to get to that extra. We were not able to get to that extra Dragon Claw. So they switch out and catch a Stone Edge. Here, we're going to race to the next move. We know that we can get to the Stone Edge before they get to the next Earthquake because they already expended all their energy. And that should be GG's because even though there's going to be a super effective Surf coming in, Surf is not going to KO, one-hit KO this Regirock, and we should be able to get to another Stone Edge before they get to their next move. So GG's to our opponent right there. I'm thinking they actually gave us a better win con right there because they actually switched out into their wall rating and caught a Stone Edge. So a little bit lucky there, but we move on. So far so good. And Trevenant is another great lead. Trevenant is actually coming in clutch right now. Okay, the worst possible switch-in and the core breaker of this team. This is going to be quite tough, but the good news is if we can somehow just get this low enough to where we can farm down or even try to take it out with something in our backline, that'll be ideal. But they probably know this at this point. They know that since we haven't switched out, we don't really have a hard counter to this Obstagoon. Here we decide to no shield. They actually go for the Obstruct, so because of that, we immediately switch out into our Regirock because they were trying to farm us and they were trying to get that last shield. So we actually call their bait, and then it allows us to get to this Stone Edge here to pressure them to shield a Stone Edge. So even at this range, we should be able to survive, but I believe we want to shield here just to preserve a little bit of health. We're going to throw this Stone Edge right before they get to their next move. And let's see if they commit another shield. So they go down 2 shields against a Regirock, which should be a really favorable matchup for our opponent. So I guess they kind of lost track of the energy, and we are able to just snipe all that energy from that Obstagoon. And they're in a very bad situation now because not only did I snipe all that energy from them, but I'm up a shield, and we have 2 counters to this Cresselia. So we immediately switch out into our Giratina, and we're just hoping at this point, one shield was either, a quarter health Trevenant and a pretty healthy Giratina will be able to win us the game. Here, we're going to have to make a decision. Is this going to be the bait or is this the Moonblast? We decided shield, and it ends up being the Moonblast, and so we're just going to take this out immediately. At this point, we don't really know what's in the bag, but they apparently haven't switched out, so they don't want to see this Giratina. Ends up being the Charizard. So this Charizard is going to have to take probably another Dragon Claw, or maybe they just go for their move. Okay, we actually catch one of their moves, which is also a winning play here. This Dragon Claw does KO. Honestly, they probably should have undercharged right there. So we know that they have a little bit of an energy advantage, and we're going to force out some energy right here. Okay, looks like they throw the move right before we get to our Stone Edge. Maybe they could have done one more wing attack, but luckily for us, we were one Shadow Claw away from the Dragon Claw, and this is going to KO. So GG's to our opponent right there. We actually come back from one of the hardest core breakers on our team as a switch-in. So we got a little bit of a heater here. Nice steal. That was definitely a steal, in my opinion. This is a terrible matchup. So since we don't really want to switch out and give them that advantage, we're going to allow them to get a shield from us. Oh, I guess we're trying to get a shield from them first. We decide to tank the first move. We try to get the shield, and then we switch out. That's what I meant to say. And so this is a very positive matchup right here because we know they're probably going to go for the superpower and dip. So we shield that first one. Oh, what a great catch. We thought we were throwing at a pretty random time. I guess they just made a great read and we're able to catch that move. So at this point, we're just trying to do chip damage. It is the Surf Fetched. Look at that Stone Edge. The Stone Edge resistor actually does quite a bit. So here they throw right before we can fire off our move. They did a great job here and only revealed that they have Leaf Blade. So I don't know if they have Night Slash at this point, and it looks like they are not running the Night Slash. This is the Leaf Blade Brave Bird edition. And here we have a Excadrill. Whoa. You don't really see that in Ultra League very much, but I guess this opponent has seen maybe a ton of Dragon Steel Cores in Ultra League. Not exactly sure. Here we get CMP'd right here. Because we were pretty close to 2 Dragon Claws, we decided to shield this. And then we're going to try to undercharge it just a little bit because we want to be able to farm it to come out with some energy. Here, we're trying our best to get to a move, and luckily, we actually end up getting to a move because the must shots from this Excadrill were not quite doing enough. So we barely survived that, and we are able to get to another Shadow Sneak. So GG's to our opponent right there. That was super close. That was super close right there. And Ultra Late Excadrill, I haven't seen that ever. So nice little Dragon Steel Core by our opponent right there. I think this is our last game of the set here, so let's see if we can end up on a really good note. Here, positive matchup. Is this running the new counter variant? It is running the new counter variant. It is generating a ton of energy. This is the Shadow. This is probably the Ice Punch. Okay, makes sense. Wow, look at that damage. That was my first time encountering the new Poliwrath because of the community day. That Poliwrath did roughly 50% with that Ice Punch, not even stab, against the Trevenant. So interesting to know right there. I do eventually want to try to get a team with the Poliwrath, but I haven't gotten to it. But anyways, here we go. This Galar Stunfisk in the back here. We're happy to see it right here. We're just going to throw that Stone Edge to do some chip damage, and our opponent decides to go for the Rock Slide. And here it should be farm down range. Let's see what we end up doing. So we're trying to farm it down. Perfect. The Trevenant is loaded with a ton of energy. If they come in with a Poliwrath, they know what's coming. Oh, so they actually have a Clefable. The fact that they bring in Clefable into the Trevenant is really good for us because we know that this Clefable will be doing pretty well against the Giratina. Okay, so we actually throw the bait right there because we figure they eventually want to use one of their shields. Here, we're going to have to tank another Ice Punch. This Ice Punch against Giratina does roughly 15%, maybe 20, I'm not exactly sure. And then at this point, the whole goal is to try to get this Poliwrath out of the way. Here, we're going to invest one shield and try to farm down. Let's see if we're going to be able to. I think we're okay. Okay, we actually are throwing a move here to either get the last shield or take it out. And then here, we know that they have potentially Moonblast, Psychic, or even Meteor Mash. So we end up shooting the right move right there. It ends up being the Moonblast. We do have energy. Okay, we go for the Shadow Sneak here. And at this point, because they're so low, we should be able to take out with this Shadow Sneak or the Seed Bomb that we had close to the Trevenant there. So GG's to our opponent right there. Check out this team. Let us know if you enjoy the video.